All right. I don't know. Hopefully you can't. Yeah, maybe you can't hear the music in the back. But anyway, Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 15. This is going to be the chapter 3, the finishing chapter, Rebirth. So, that night before, as we know, it kind of ended with, I guess, Brittany turning up and, in the kitchen when she took her shirt off and everything. The girls just pretty much kept drinking, kept partying, and went on all night. So everybody was having a good old time. Um, Angela and Drew was talking, and they were kind of surprised that everybody got along. But like Drew said, just takes a few shots, and everybody would just forget, what we was arguing about, and then we just gonna have fun, which is what they did. Um, they do bring up, like, before everything started, we was you know uh gathering around Shamia and stuff like that, and Brittany was way extra, talking about how she was there for her, and she can, she loves her and all this stuff, right? Angela noticed Drew's face because the cameraman did show it, and yeah, it was looking like, what the, because well, we all was kind of like, what the heck. But like I said, I think that's when her little liquor kind of kicked in, right? So she let her have her moment. Okay, let her have her moment. It was a little weird, whatever. Okay. Angela also noticed because she was feeling the moment, right? It was a cool, sweet moment. But Angela also noticed how, like, Kelly and Brittany was like, something was a little bit off when it comes to their relationship. Like, um, Kelly was being more quiet when it came to Brittany and her little spats between Shamia and, what would we say, Portia? It was mainly Shamia, though. Shamia was in her room or whatever. She calls her mom, little FaceTime, and checks on her kids. And Shiloh was doing a lot better. So, her decision to stay didn't feel so bad, I guess. But everything's all right. She'll see the kids when she get home. So then in the other suite, we had Portia, Cynthia, and Phaedra. And, they talking about last night and everything as well. We find out Phaedra likes the ID channel. Okay, I think a lot of people do. Just, watch stuff before you go to sleep. She liked to watch all that murder crime scene type stuff. I think a lot of people do. Um, Talking about Shamia with them donations and stuff, going at Brittany. And how Phaedra, because okay, we already know how that donation thing with Brittany, it went sideways, so they never really got no resolved. But Phaedra brings up how everything was cool last night, we having fun, whoop-de whoop-de whoop. But Angela was giving school teacher, which, I don't know, I probably should have rewinded to see where was Angela in that group and what was she doing, because I don't know, maybe my main focus was on Portia or Drew or Phaedra, because I don't know, look, or Brittany. But I don't know, did I not notice Angela? I don't know. I have to rewatch just to see, like, was she not partying, or was she just sitting there on the side just watching? Maybe she was just sitting on the side just watching. I don't know. Either way, look, if she was at the Bolo house, I bet you she would have had all the details. Like, let's be real on that. They doing some more needless talking. Well, yeah, school teacher Barbara Walters, doing some more needless talking about Atlanta. The land of the scam. Which, yeah, if well, I ain't don't live there or nothing like that, but of all that we've watched and gathered and researched and seen, there's a lot of people who say they this, but really they really not that. So they kind of bought that up. Some was explaining to Cynthia what bust downs was, which, hey, I didn't know what that was. But diamonds, I guess they call them bust downs or whatever. Your diamonds, your jewelry on your hand and your wrist. Okay, cool. Um, Talking about Brittany again, how it was just weird, and she was just being weird, how she was acting. Um, and then it was like at that dinner with the before they met the prime minister, it was like she was being like a dog with a bone, just trying to sniff out all the shade. Like, oh my God, you being shady towards me? Oh, is that towards me? Like, because she was just on guard, but pretty much she was only calling you out, Portia, when it came to you, honestly. And then she was calling out Shamia because Shamia was talking about her, and she actually caught it. I don't think they thought she was gonna catch it, but she did. Like, come on now, we all caught it. We all was listening. Y'all think she wasn't listening? Maybe they think she just dumb or something. I don't know. Either way, well, I guess they just think she dumb because they just treating her like. And because we was on Brittany and talking about her, Phaedra was like, oh, shoot, I almost forgot. I got a little tea for y'all. So they're like, oh, well, what is it? Come here, tell me. And she like, well, the glam squad that Kelly has, okay, told Brittany that they all have to go with Kelly only or else. Like, they need to basically drop Brittany and only focus on Kelly, which technically it's Kelly's glam squad. She was letting Brittany borrow and use, but for some reason, I guess when they got to this trip, she said, nah, y'all can only work on me. So with that knowledge, we get a flashback to remind us everything that Kelly said. Like, yeah, I lended it to Brittany because Brittany was struggling a little bit. She needed some help with, her dress. So I said she can use, I forget the dude's name, but she can use him and everybody to help her out a little bit. Maybe Brittany thought it was a permanent thing. I don't know. Or maybe, well, no, they never did say she had to pay for it. So if it was free services, okay, like, I don't know. Either way, was she taking advantage? I don't know. But Portia notices, just like Angela noticed, that, yeah, Kelly was being real quiet when Brittany was getting into it with Shamia. Like, she had, like, all these other times, which they did show a flashback to where Brittany was, going at Angela, and Kelly was right there with the backup, like, yeah, tell us about this. Da, 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 da. But now, when it came to that donation situation, she was like, well, she wasn't necessarily quiet. She just agreed with Shamia. And Phaedra, why you calling Brittany weird? Your butt is weird because what is up with you and nipples? I don't know. She's been, look, obviously you've been looking at Brittany naked in the room. She's calling out her inverted nipples, talking about she done popped it out in front of her or something like that. Like, I don't even know. Like, Phaedra, you calling her weird, but you being weird now, bringing up her and her body and her nakedness and stuff. Like, girl, stop staring at her, stop looking. But anyway, Cynthia, on the other hand, like I said, she ain't really been talking or nothing. She just kind of been there. But she decided to volunteer this information that nobody needs to know about her body, that she has, inverted down below. I ain't want to really say, all this stuff, but you watched it, y'all heard it. So we go to, I think it was Kelly's room with Brittany or Brittany's room with Kelly. Either way, they was in the room and they just wanted to have a little talk, just to kind of, I guess, see where they were at, together on this. Because, well, first, Kelly brings up this divorce because while she's on this vacation, she actually has to take a call from the attorney at some point, so she's got to step aside. But with the donations talk, Brittany was like, yeah, I'm cool and all, it was just right. Like, I'm just feeling weird because I don't know, like, what you giving me weird energy, and I don't know if like how you supposed to be my friend, but you ain't standing up for me in this situation because I ain't cheap. You know, like the bitch is trying to call me out like I ain't got no money or something. Like, girl, you know that ain't me. So Kelly was just trying to explain to her that no, well, what Shamia really wanted was for you to just, you know, but anywho, she was just saying, trying to say like, um, yeah, you know, just kind of, just show up a little bit more, you know, as you are in your fabulousness, like, you know, like, and she gave an example just to say like, you was telling us how you took like your whole crew at work, I'm guessing it's her work team, to Miami and basically paid for everybody to get any plastic surgery that they wanted. So, you know, basically, you know, we'll say a minor brag, you know, to say that, oh, this is, you know, you did all this. But then when we asked for, you know, just some donations, you didn't spend nearly, we'll say like $1 compared to what you spent for that. And that wasn't even, I mean, could we say donations? Because you was giving it to free to people. So, but like I said, that compared to that box or the 250 that she asked for or whatever it was on the Cash App, girl, you could have did better. And I don't know, she kind of softens the blow a little bit just to try to tell her, you know, like, oh, you know, you got a bigger purpose, and we just want you, um, you know, just to set an example, you know, be a better example of this and that, whatever. So, I mean, Brittany was looking at her kind of crazy, like, girl, okay, you want me to show up a little bit better, and really, what them surgeries got to do with anything, and I have a bigger purpose to set an example for who and for what and for why. Okay, that's kind of what her face expressions was given, but she just said, listen, I don't think it's necessarily about these donations. I really think it's about something else. Kelly with this glam squad situation, is she hiding something? You know how people, she putting on airs or a facade, you know, to try to be like, oh, I'm all perfect and you know how people would do. But behind closed doors, she's just a big old mess, right? So that's kind of where Brittany's mind is kind of going like, okay, but you had a meeting with the team. I don't know if she overheard it or if somebody told her this, but she had a meeting with the team basically telling them to not mess with Brittany, you know, like, so it's like, why would you go and tell them that instead of just telling me that, hey girl, I only let you borrow them for like a couple of days, but you know, since I'm paying all this and then that, I don't want you to just be, you know, be using them, because they're not for you. Like, come on now, that's all she had to say. So that's kind of where Brittany mine is and why she a little bit upset. Kelly, on the other hand, I think she just trying to brush it off, okay? So today, pretty much that whole day was just them chilling at the villa, having their breakfast. Now they're gonna do a backyard barbecue at the villa. You know, just keeping it low key because you know we did our exploring of the island and all that stuff. This is the last day, so we're actually going to party, but it's like a rest before the actual party because it's a jab, okay? Shamia and Kelly had matching bathing suits. I don't know what was up with that. I was kind of on Angela's side with that. Like, now why do they got to be matching like this? When they flashed back Kelly and Brittany with the matching red, that part didn't bother me because that kind of happens. But because it wasn't exact identical outfits, it was just the same color. But them bathing suits, I think they was actual identical. They look identical. So we get to meet Randall. He is the tour guide type person who maybe, or slash hostess or something. Maybe he was the connect with Kelly and Shamia to set this all up. I'm not sure, but either way, he was letting everybody, asking them how was they, enjoying themselves, this and this and that. Hopefully y'all enjoying everything. And explaining them that tonight y'all about to have, even more fun with the jab, this and this and that. And of course the ladies is flirting and doing what they do. Like, oh, and look, any dude that's coming around so far, Phaedra definitely is looking. And so is Portia. Let's say looking. So is Portia. And they do a shot o'clock because we about to go get dressed and we about to jab. Okay, so we was at dinner. Okay, after Randall leaves, we eat. Kelly is explaining to them about her lawyer. Well, she keeps saying attorney all the time, but attorney, lawyer, okay, whatever. Either way, the attorney, she got to go make a little phone call, blah, 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 blah. Her ex is on his 6th lawyer, so I think that's why her stuff is dragging a little bit more, besides all the stuff that he putting her through, or all the stuff that he's refusing to negotiate with her on. Ralph is on his 3rd. Okay, look, his 3rd. So her and Drew kind of had a little connection there, to where it's like, oh shoot, damn, we got an understanding here. And guess what? They got even a bigger understanding because they done got married on the same day. Okay, August 21st. I don't think it was the same years. I think they married for different years, but the exact same day. So of course this is Drew's, it will be like her first anniversary without spending time with Ralph, and I think it's supposed to be their 10th. So she was explaining how it's supposed to be, it was supposed to be a renewal and all types of things, but she's not sure how to feel or how she's going to feel. So just asking Kelly, like, well, dang, well, how did you get through them days? And of course, Kelly was like, girl, I mean, it's sad and it's not, and this, you're going to go through certain levels because obviously this person is a connection to you in basically a lot of ways, right? So you don't just get over that quick all the time. I mean, some people do. Look, like I say, look at Phaedra. She don't want no parts of Apollo, like, for real. But I'm just saying, but she, she gets through. So Drew will too. Angela right here was trying to be slick, be nosy on the slick slide and try to ask Brittany how was Kelly doing, So kind of the same thing that she was doing with Shamia, trying to get all up in Shamia business, like how is you doing with Portia, so that she can go back and say, oh, well, Brittany said that you is not a good friend and this and that, right? See, Angela, I see the way you working now. I see it. Portia bought this big ass straw hat, like huge. Okay, she was gonna wear it, but she let Shamia use it and have her little photo shoot moment, as well as borrow her bathing suit, because remember, Shamia never got her luggage, which is crazy, because let's say she leave, because they were leaving the next day, and that luggage show up, I will be highly off. Like, I can't believe this is messed up. Like, they said it was lost, it wasn't lost, it was delivered, it wasn't delivered. Girl, they done lost that luggage. So Kelly goes off with her little attorney phone call. She got to do what she got to do. This is supposed to be the last one before they actually go to court. So hopefully everything goes good with that. Now it is jab time, okay? If you are not familiar, which I was never familiar with the name of the parade, but I've seen images of the parade. I just didn't know what it was called, but it's jab up in Grenada. It is basically in comparison to Carnival or Juve. If you know, depending on what tribe or part of the islands of the Caribbean you come from, because there are quite a few, but they all do have the same similar celebrations. That's what I say. Is this Labor Day? That's what I say. This. But anyway, um, and most of you guys know this is like I want to say like a 3-day celebration of like, or literally a sun up to sundown celebration. Well, I think I will say the party part will start from like sun up to sundown. I think the other 3-day parts might come into play with other little activities that lead up to that actual event. But what here in Jab Jab, what makes them different is it's a celebration of rebellion, I guess, with the slaves and the owners, where they were called Jab Jabs, which for reference equals devil, translated to devil. And I think they rose up to fight back, something like that, while covered in the oil. Okay, listen, I can't look. I don't remember the exact story, but it's like a rebellion type celebration thing. So this is what they do. Every year they get that black ass oil and they oil themselves up from head to toe, literally, and just go out in the streets dancing, parading, you know how it go, whining, bumping, grinding, all that type stuff, right? Look, why Portia always gotta be the queen of something? She was the princess of Thoughtlandia, and then now look, and then I can't remember what the other one was, but now she the queen of Jab Jab. She was getting it in, okay? Everybody was having fun. Look, Phaedra, everybody was having fun. Everybody was like, Phaedra had her little moment. Cynthia was like, I got a man somewhere, so I ain't trying to be all up in, but they all had fun. The next day looks like I expect. You know, the house is a mess. We got costumes all over the place. We got oil all over the place. I think there was a oil butt print of Portia's ass somewhere stuck on the wall. Yeah, they talking about and look, and probably hungover too. I ain't gonna lie. I bet you they was real hungover off that rum. But listen, talks of removing all that oil off their bodies in the shower. Of course, Phaedra needed some help, had Brittany in there scrubbing her down. Look, y'all both weird, okay, whatever. Kelly calls her lawyer, and well, okay, they're all having breakfast, and she's telling them the story that she talked to the lawyer, woody woody whoop. He was explaining, you know, how things about to go, blah, 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 blah. And in the midst of those things, the crystal broke. That rose quartz tower that she had, or wine tower, whichever one y'all want to use. Yeah, so she Googled it to see what it means. But if you are into crystals and things like that, you kind of know that if you've been holding on to one for a while and it breaks, it kind of means that it's done its job. You know, it's finished. Your mission is complete, or whatever you want to say. Yeah, so for her, it felt like it was the end of a relationship. Like, oh my God, this is hopes, right? That this should mean that this divorce is going to be over. And, you know, I want to throw this crystal into the ocean. You know, it's like a sign from God, you know, like, ooh, everything's going to be okay. Okay? So everybody's like, yeah, we should do it. Woo! We all get up. Shabir make the speech. We count it down. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Throw the crystal in the ocean. And then we get a 72 hours later. Fast forward. All hell about to break loose. Okay? Shamia and Brittany, that stone, that crack was probably y'all. Also, it looked like that divorce did not actually fall through. And there's gonna be some other things going on the scene. Okay, so listen, we're not done with the Housewives of Atlanta. We still got some more to go. Okay, we got Phaedra on the show. She getting a little bit more up in there, just a tad bit, a little bit more. Not too much. I don't know. Maybe like I said, I don't know what we're gonna get, but she ain't really giving too much. It's just a little bit. But yeah, we about to see how this gonna roll out. We know things ain't going so good right now with the Bravo world. Brittany trying to sue people and everything. We didn't even get to the reunion yet. Like, come on now. What? This summer, 2025. Listen, we'll catch the next episode, Housewives of Atlanta, season 16. Bye.